right, Miniature Waltz on page 33. This is sort of your first real piece of music this semester, using both hands. So you see the grand staff there, right and left hand. The most significant thing you need to think about as you start is this. This piece is in G position. And by G position, I mean both hands start on G. If you look at the piano keyboard there with the notes in blue, those are where your hands will go, and you can see in the camera where my hands are and how that works. So that's G position. As we go through pieces for a while, you're going to be in a particular position quite a bit. G position, C position, D position. You're going to learn all kinds of different positions and where the black keys go and that kind of thing. But G position has no black keys, so be aware of that. Your hands will, both hands will stay there the whole time. If you start wandering around, it's easy to get lost, or if you use different fingers on different notes, you certainly don't want to use the same finger over and over again. Just stay in this position the whole time. Now, right hand is pretty self-explanatory. It's just moving up, moving down. Sometimes it skips, sometimes it doesn't. It may take you a little time. That very first note right there in the right hand is B. Looks like that. Finger 3, those finger numbers are a big hint to help you figure out where things start. So that's the right hand, and like I said, it's going to be pretty straightforward. Notice the second line, it starts on finger 2, that's a hint. And the third line starts just the same as the beginning. Finger 5, another hint. If you don't remember that that's D, that's okay. Finger 5 is enough. You'll catch on to the notes as you go. So a few things to point out. Dynamics. MP stands for mezzo piano, or medium soft. Double P is pianissimo, or really soft with your left hand there. And you see these lines right here. This means crescendo, or get louder, decrescendo, or get softer. So, and we don't need all that writing to stay there. So, take that away. Sorry. There we go. And then as we go down here, we have mezzo forte, which is medium loud. Sorry about that. So medium loud. P, piano, is soft. Very end we have a decrescendo, or get softer, and retard means to gradually get slower. Now, that's a lot of details to think about with your right hand. This is your first piece. If you don't remember all that, that's okay. You're eventually going to pick those things up. The main thing, of course, are the notes. So next thing I want to look at is the left hand, because that's a little more complicated. In the left hand here, these two notes, the ledger line there on the lower, looks like the lower one, is C, and the next note is D. And they're on the same stem, so they're played at the same time. And you can even see 1, 2 underneath those two notes. I can show you those are fingers 1 and 2. That's called a second, by the way, an interval. And I know one of them looks like they're kind of offset from each other, but that doesn't mean you play them at different times. It's just because they can't squeeze them literally into the same space. But that's a second. Fingers 1 and 2. And then for the next one, you can notice that the lower note just moves down. Okay? And then to the next one here, see how the top note stays the same, but the bottom note goes a step lower. And that's the interval of a fourth. 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth. And then you notice here, top note's the same. It's your pinky that moves down, so that's a fifth. And then the bottom note moves up, and moves back down. So you don't really even have to pay attention to that top D. It's going to stay the same all the way through. And then the next line here is almost a repeat. Fingers 1 and 3, that's helpful to see. notice the next one, the bottom note moves down. And then it tells you to start with thumb here. And probably the trickiest part for everyone is that little ending. Getting both your hands to do the same thing. So that's basically how this works. I'm going to play this slowly with no background music just so you can kind of follow along and see how everything goes. Then I'll record it again with the disc just so you can see it a little more in a more complex way. So here it is with no disc, no anything, just to follow along. To think about. Sometimes at the beginning, like in measure 5 there, to play your hands together, if you're not used to that, is a little getting used to. I'm going to record it again with the disc just so you can see it with some background music and a little more complexity. Again, you don't have to record it with the disc or play along with the disc yet unless you just want to. So here is the same thing with the disc. Miniature Waltz.